Look. You're special, Jean. And if you stop fighting that force inside you, if you embrace it, you will possess the very power of a god.
The last chapter of the X-Men saga is finally out. So how is it? Meh. Yeah, it's better than X-Men Origins Wolverine, because that movie's a mess, but there's script issues, and you can tell that the script issues and the production woes were very prominent during this movie. You know, for those who don't know, this was supposed to come out like last summer, or like last fall or something, of 2018, and then they delayed it to like February 2019, and then they put out a trailer saying February 2019, and then literally 2 or 3 days later said, no, it's not February, it's summer 2019, because we need to go back and make more reshoots. And yeah, it's a mess. They put the bare amount of effort into this movie that they could. It's passable. There's some good action scenes, but the script is just so bad. First off, my main issue with this is the way that they wrote Charles Xavier. I understand that this is a prequel, and that prequels have character development, but here's the thing. It's like they didn't even watch the previous 2 prequels. It's like they didn't watch First Class or Days of Future Past, where he's always been, the very kind, gentle gentleman. And he's like that, for the first 5 minutes of the movie at the beginning in a flashback. But then the rest of the movie, he's just this pompous jerk who doesn't want to take responsibility for his actions, and everyone's calling him out on it. That's not ever who Charles Xavier was. They completely screwed up his character, and then it's just such a weird tone shift. They did it just for the sake of causing drama and rifts in between the teams, because, we haven't seen that in the last few X-Men movies. It was just a mess. And on top of that, you could tell they were trying to sort of capitalize on the success of Captain Marvel, because there's a particular line in this movie. This is after they've got up into the rocket ship, and Dark Phoenix has Jean Grey has sort of saved them from annihilation, and Mystique kind of calls Charles Xavier out on how he's on his behavior. And this is in the first 15 minutes of the movie. It's not like this is like half through the movie. It's in the first 15. It's like, oh, okay, it's gonna be this kind of movie. She says, well, the way that the men have been, or the way the women have been saving the men around here, you might want to think about changing the name to X-Women. Well, let's look at that for a minute, shall we? This was clearly established in the first 5 minutes of this film. Charles Xavier is the one who gave both Mystique and Jean Grey their homes after society ostracized them. But yes, it's only you that does all the work. It's not like he has to run an entire school of hundreds of students every day who have potentially deadly powers that could kill each other. But no, it's you that does all the work. He does nothing. Yeah, that you knew that they included that line just to get a bunch of whoa, yeah, cheering, but it didn't. My theater was completely full, and you could hear crickets after that line. And my hands were in my face. Man, it was just, you could tell, it was just the worst. The good stuff about it, the action scenes, it is pretty engaging. I wasn't bored with it. I was bored with X-Men Origins Wolverine for some of it. I was bored with, a couple of the other ones. I was bored with The Wolverine from 2013. I was never bored with this movie. But it has a lot of problems with the script. I'm glad I went on $5 Tuesday, because if I had gone on full price day, I would have been kicking myself the whole way home. And I'd even argue $5 is too much. Even though Fox is advertising this as this big finale, go see it, right? They're using the Endgame marketing strategy. It's really not worth even seeing in the theater. I would wait for Redbox or Netflix to rent this. It's kind of an underwhelming finale as far as it goes. There's potential for a good movie in here, but it doesn't go as far as it could have gone. And I think once Disney bailed them out, I think they would have went, well, we don't really need to put as much effort into this movie because, this movie's bombing. So, now that this movie is bombed, it doesn't matter. Disney's just going to bail us out when they include the X-Men in the MCU. So, yeah, this movie's a good 7 out of 10. Just go rent it.